are listening to The Final Score with Stevie Fly.
What's up, guys? Tuesday night, Tuesday night is final score time. Hope you guys are doing okay. Cold air coming in. We got through. We dodged a bullet this weekend with the winter weather. Looks like we won't be that fortunate this weekend. It looks like we're going to get if we get what these people are predicting, we will have. I just read for Saturday night. This is just for Saturday night here. And I mean, I know up north, if you're listening up north, you're laughing at me when I say this, but for the South, this is a lot. 8 to 12 inches just Saturday night. And then another 2 or 3 that Saturday afternoon, and then another inch the next day. And temperatures won't get above freezing for a while. So it's going to stay here for a while. So who knows? But, this it's about time for a big one, I guess. But anyway, we're not here to talk weather. We're here to talk sports and a lot going on this past week since the last time we were here. We've had another coach get fired in the NFL. We've had the national championship game, college football. We've had the weekend of divisional playoff games, and we've had some coaches get hired too. So we'll talk about that. But let's start off with the national championship game. Last night, Indiana, who is 15-0 going into this game against Miami, Indiana looking to complete this Cinderella season, if you call it, if you will, like this Rose said, if you will. And, talking with some guys Sunday night on Sports Objective, and it was said a few times there, if Indiana wins this game, they should automatically do a 30 for 30 because 2 years ago, Indiana was sitting at the bottom of the Big Ten. I think they won 2 games. And Kurt Signetti comes in and just changes everything. I mean, last year they were contenders. They couldn't get over the hump last year, but this year it's been a different Indiana team. You've got your Heisman Trophy quarterback making big plays, Fernando Mendoza. Of course, his Heisman Trophy play, signature play, the pass late in the game, the touchdown pass late in the game against Penn State to win the game. But last night, now I said this going in when I made my predictions. A lot of people say I think Indiana was favored by like 7.5, but I was like, Miami's going to give them a game. This ain't going to be Oregon. Miami's defense is strong. And Miami's going to keep it close. I think I had 24-21. And this game ends up, what was it, 20, 28, 21, 27, 21. So I was 3 points off. But man, what a game it was. Mendoza has you have those plays in championship games that you always remember. I mean, whether it's like NBA Finals, the year Jordan hit all those threes and did the shrug to the sidelines. Then you have, of course, NCAA National Championship game in basketball. You had Derek Whittenburg, Lorenzo Charles to upset Houston. Mendoza on 4th and 5, breaking tackles and getting in the end zone to extend that lead to 10 points. Instead, and the story behind that, 4th and 5, they're up, 3? And Signetti originally was going to kick a field goal, called timeout, and sent the offense back on the field, and the rest is history. I mean, 4th and 5, this guy breaks 3 or 4 tackles and dives in the end zone. He's taking shots. I mean, Miami beat him up last night, but he never wavered. I mean, he didn't have his strongest game. Indiana didn't have their strongest offensive game, but they did enough to win. What does this do? What does it mean for the Big Ten? I mean, you've had three Big Ten schools win the national championship now. Does this mean the SEC is no longer the strongest conference in the college football? Because the SEC was saying, well, we've had these, and it was three different teams, three different Big Ten teams. It's not one dominating. That's what the SEC people were saying. We've had LSU, we've had Alabama, we've had Georgia. Well, now, no, you haven't anymore. Big Ten is the top conference in college football right now, and not just because Indiana won the national championship, because they've been dominating. We talk about the Mendoza play, and that play was great, but the difference in that game, special teams. Indiana gets a block punt that goes in for a touchdown, and that's the difference in the game. Kamara blocks the punt, and that's, when you think about it, you look at it, 7 points. That would have been the difference in the game right there. Now, would Indiana have done something different with the ball if they got it? Maybe, I don't know, but you look at that. And and Mendoza and Kamara get co-MVPs because, I mean, they had the two most important plays of that game. Not taking any away from Miami, because Miami fought hard. Miami's defense, the second half, did a really good job with Indiana's offense. They shut Indiana's offense down for most of that second half. Reuben Baines Jr., Akeem Messidor, they were all over the place. They gave Mendoza a fix. Appreciate it, Rob. Appreciate the like. If you haven't checked out Rob's got some podcasts that I've been on. The Rogue Music Podcast, and then Right Between the Lines podcast, which I've been on a couple of times. I mean, Miami has nothing to be ashamed of. Miami gave them fits, and I knew it was going to be a game. And Miami, let's talk about Carson Beck. If he'd had a little bit of more arm strength, that interception could have been a touchdown. But he didn't zip the ball. Indiana intercepts it. I guess that's what happens when you played 20 years of college football. I can't get by that. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was a really good game. It was not, some people were saying it was going to be a blowout. No. It was not going to be a blowout. I knew Miami had a good chance to win that game. It was 7 penalties for Miami for 60 yards, and they were at crucial times. I mean, the first drive Indiana had for the touchdown drive, Miami had 2 penalties that extended the drive and gave. Indiana was already up 3-0 and gave Indiana that touchdown, made it 10-0. So, you got, like I said, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, the last 3 national champions. And now, the way too early predictions for next year, they've got Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana among the favorites. So SEC, you better try to get some more money. You better figure something out. This story just came in a few minutes ago, and I want to talk about this because I think it's interesting because you haven't heard it but a couple of times. Duke University football team, the university, has filed a lawsuit against quarterback Darian Mensah. They're seeking to block his efforts to transfer and reach a contract with another school to play elsewhere next season, which the rumor is Miami is trying to get him to join them. So he had announced earlier in the whole portal deal he was coming back to Duke. The school is saying that it's 2-season contract with him signed in July 2025, running through 2026, paid him for exclusive rights to market his name, image, and likeness tied to playing college football. It's seeking a temporary restraining order to prevent him from entering the portal, along with blocking him from taking additional steps in the process of reaching a deal with a new school, arguing that the contract requires parties to go through arbitration before any dispute can be resolved. So now we're getting into hold on, guys. I got something coming in on my phone. We're getting into NFL stuff, dude. We're getting into legalities, contracts. This is what's going to ruin all of this. I mean, he waited to the last day that you can enter the portal to do this. After a short, did he you can't make it this easy for these guys to leave. You got to make it complicated, or I'm sorry. I mean, I was talking to somebody today about this. You can't blame the kids because it's out there. The money is out there. You got 18-year-old kids getting more money thrown in their face than they've ever seen before in their life. But you got to control it somehow. Thanks, Heels. You've got to cap it. There's got to be some law to it, some rhyme or reason to it. This, like a friend of mine said, it's like the wild, wild west. And it's got to be dealt with. This is just the latest. And it may be a sign of things to come. God, I hope not. I hope they can get this straight, or it's going to ruin college football, college sports in general. So, so Indiana, congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers and Kirk Cignetti, Fernando Mendoza, and all those players. National champions, perfect season, and what a story. I mean, somebody brought up, I heard him talking on ESPN tonight about comparing it to the movie Hoosiers. Yeah, pun intended, I guess. Yeah, excuse me. These guys weren't, last year, Indiana came out of nowhere. I mean, basketball school. And now, a year later, national champions. Cignetti comes from JMU, James Madison University, out of nowhere. I know when he came in there, when he got hired, people were just saying, he'll be here 3 years, they'll fire him. They'll win 2 games, 3 games maybe, they'll fire him. Yeah, now he's 16, the first 16-win season in college football. Impressive. Congratulations. All right. So, yeah, I almost got my prediction right. Let's talk about the NFL. Before we get into the playoffs this past weekend, we will give away one of the scores of the playoff games. And of course, you guys know Buffalo loses to Denver in overtime, 33-30. Now, a lot went on in that game. Josh Allen, Mr. Everything for Buffalo. And it makes me wonder. I mean, you talk about jinxing things when you talk something up. Before the game, or at the start of the game, they were talking about Josh Allen had never had a turnover in any playoff game. or any divisional round game, something like that. What does he go out and do? He has 4 turnovers. Yeah, somebody talked that up. But anyway, so once again, the Bills fall short in the playoffs. And come Monday morning, they announced they had fired 9-year head coach Sean McDermott. Been there 9 years. 5 of those years he won the AFC East, but never got to the Super Bowl. Never got over that hump. Chiefs and Pat Mahomes were in the way, but they never got to the Super Bowl. I mean, I see in a way, but what kind of weapons does Josh Allen have? Brandon Cooks was his top receiver. He'd been there, 6 weeks? No, I mean, the tight ends, Kincaid. But he didn't have a go-to wide receiver. I don't think they fired the right guy. What's the GM's name? Billy Bean or Bill Bean? I think he needed a guy. Because he's the one responsible for the players. Granted, the coach has a say in the players, but from what I hear, like a lot of competitive rivalry between the GM and the coach there. And apparently the GM either kissed enough butt to the ownership that he got in favor with them, and McDermott was out of favor with them. But McDermott did not lose the locker room. There was a lot of players. One in particular came out saying, "This stupid is, excuse my language, the stupid shit that goes on around here. It's typical of the stupid shit that goes on around here." So I'm wondering, we've yet to hear from Josh Allen on how he feels about the situation, or whether he had maybe pulled Aaron Rodgers had something to do with it, because he was an emotional guy after that loss. And my hope, McDermott's out there. Pittsburgh, call him. Proven coach. Defensive-minded coach. If that's what Pittsburgh wants to go with, they need to give him a call before somebody else is, like the Ravens. Speaking of coaches, we had, I think Stefanski went to Atlanta. We talked about that last week. John Harbaugh officially announced as the William, whoa, that is a bad word for you. Yeah. Fried chicken is a bad word too. Coaches, Stefanski goes to Atlanta. Like I said, John Harbaugh announced as the coach for the New York Giants. Said he plans on bringing a winning culture to the Giants, and he's got the pieces in place, guys. He's got the pieces in place there. Jackson Dart, Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors, if they can stay healthy. And that defense, you got some young guys on that defense that could make a difference too. Also, Robert Saleh, the defense coordinator for the 49ers, former New York Jets head coach and Aaron Rodgers' best friend, is now officially the Tennessee Titans' new head coach. So I think that's a good. You can't judge him by what he did with the Jets. Just like you can't judge Stefanski by what he did in Cleveland. They're two of the worst franchises in football. Sean to Steelers. Who is Sean? Also, news coming out tonight. Former Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has withdrawn his name from the coaching vacancy at the Cleveland Browns. He wants his name out of there. Can't blame you, guy. Can't blame you. That if you were ranking the head coaching vacancies on how desirable they are, Cleveland's got to be dead last. Right there with Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a notch above. Cleveland's got to be dead last. Sean McDermott, Sean McDermott, Brian Flores, they would be two I would really like to see right now in Pittsburgh. Hopefully Pittsburgh's on the phone. I know Flores just completed his second interview with the Steelers today. He was in the facility today, so it was not a virtual one. It was in the facility. But yeah, right now, it's anybody's guess who they get. I've heard Shula, which I'm scared of Shula. His dad. I know his granddaddy is Don Shula, and that's all funny. That's all great. But his dad was David Shula, and David Shula was a terrible, terrible head coach in the NFL. There's a few others that could be in the mix right now too, but we'll have to get into that later as far as with that list. So let's get to the games this weekend. And let me tell you, one stinker, one that just was hard to watch. Another one that was so sloppy, it killed me. Oh yeah, Dawson Van, ex-coach of the Jets. Well, he switched. He left the Jets and went to the Ravens. Remember? He left the Jets and turncoat went to the Ravens. Let's start off. Let's see where we're going to start here. Where do I start my notes? Well, let's start with Buffalo and Denver. Probably one of the more exciting games of the playoff. And we talked about how this started out. We talked about Josh Allen turning the ball over. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. It's me. Kyle from LaGrange. It's me, Kyle, the controversial racist. He is not racist, guy. I don't know why anybody would even dare to dream that. So the Bills start off. They get the lead, 7-3. They get the ball back. They get a stop. They get the ball back, driving down the field. Well, no, they didn't drive down the field. James Cook fumbles. What could have been a 14-3 lead ends up Denver takes advantage of that turnover and makes it 10-7. And then Denver gets a field goal. I believe they got they got another touchdown. They get a touchdown to make it 17-10 after Buffalo had kicked the field goal. And then Josh Allen, not much time left in the half, about less than a minute. Instead of, taking a knee and going in and just dealing with it that way, they call a play. Josh Allen, deep in his own territory, takes off, fumbles the ball, and Denver picks it up. They kick a field goal right at the end of the half, and just like that, it's 20-10. and it looks like the game's going to get away from Buffalo. I mean, Denver's got the momentum. Denver's home. But here comes Josh Allen. Superman cape on. He gets them back in the game. And guys, let me tell you something. I heard something the last couple of days about, I think it was Shannon Sharp on his podcast, talking about not holding. And I heard some more people make comments about Josh Allen. Josh Allen had a bad game, but his bad game is better than most of the quarterbacks' good games. As bad as he was, he still almost led them to the win. Dalton Van, QB1, thank you for the like. I mean, 3 touchdowns, 283 yards passing. He had 2 picks and 2 fumbles. Shannon Sharp talking about, why don't we hold him accountable like we do Lamar Jackson? Josh Allen has won playoff games. Lamar's won 1. Josh Allen has been to several AFC championship games. I think Lamar's been to 1. Josh Allen, William Coggins, thank you for the love. Appreciate the heart, buddy. Yeah. All right. Josh Allen has won multiple MVPs, just like Lamar has. Now, if you look at the team around Lamar this year, supposed to be Super Bowl champions. The paper champions didn't even make the playoffs. Josh Allen didn't have the talent around him that he has had. And granted, I said it. I said it in the Pittsburgh game. Lamar did not lose that game to Pittsburgh. It was not Lamar that lost that game to Pittsburgh. It was Baltimore's sucky defense. Lamar is the best running back playing quarterback in the NFL. He can throw the ball some, but he makes bad decisions, guys. And I'm not going to get off talking about Lamar Jackson, but when I heard that, come on, guys. He's flashy, yeah. He is. He's a good quarterback. But when is he going to get over the hump? You want to talk about Josh Allen getting over the hump and y'all holding it over. I don't always hold Lamar accountable. I know all about Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion that would have won the game for him in the playoffs. But it didn't happen. You're going to be looking at that quarterback whenever they lose, no matter what happens. They always look at the quarterback and the coach. I go back to Brett Favre when he played for the Vikings that one year when he got to the NFC Championship game. All the plays he made that year for them to get them to where they were at, but it will always be remembered as a failure because he threw that interception at the end of that New Orleans game that he probably should have thrown across the field. That he could have won the game if they got him in the field goal range. But that's what you get when you're the quarterback or the coach. It's always on you. Phillip Rivers, best quarterback in the NFL. He was one of the best at the time. I'm not saying the best. Kyle, ridiculous. I'm just putting the word out about myself, not trying to hijack your show. I just think people need to be aware of me. Nothing to be aware of, Kyle. I know you. You're my buddy. I know what you I know what your deal is. So this game goes back and forth. I mean, a controversial play. And I'm gonna clear up a few things here. The play I'm talking about, a third down play in overtime. Josh Allen throws deep to Brandon Cooks. Cooks makes the catch, hits the ground with McMillan on top, the defensive back for Denver on top of him, making contact with him. As he rolls, McMillan takes the ball from him. They call it interception. Okay. It's hard to tell what a catch is in the NFL anymore. Going back to Troy Polamalu in the playoffs against the Colts, where he intercepted the ball, fell to the ground, laid on the ground, then got back up, dropped the ball, got back up, picked the ball up, and they called that an incomplete. It was not an interception. To Dez Bryant, to Jesse James, to any of these calls. There's so many of them. I can't think of all of them, but I don't know what a catch is anymore, guys. They said he had to complete the catch. I thought, and then going by the rule book in the NFL, they probably made the right call. But I thought if you're down on the ground with possession and the defender touches you, you're down. Apparently not. And I'm going to get to what to go make, because all the Denver fans right now are saying something right now. Henry Ford, if he's listening, I know he's saying something right now. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. My problem, too, with this whole situation is how many times when something like this happens in a regular season game do we have to sit there for 5-10 minutes waiting for the replay to go through? A lot. In a regular season game. They were ready after about 10 seconds to move on without even looking at it, without really looking at it like they do in any other time when they do a replay. Sean McDermott did the right thing, a smart thing. He had to burn a timeout so they would hopefully look at it more. They gave him a 30-second timeout. Said they wanted the explanation from the NFL the next morning was they wanted to move the game along because all those other games that you had, yeah, they were more important. All those other games that had to be played, the one more game that you had later that night. And this didn't have, this is win or go home. This wasn't important, was it? I don't get it. I don't get that. But before, now that we've got that over with, the people, the Denver fans are saying, this is what they're saying right now. Well, if they'd have hadn't missed that call, that hold in the end zone, the play before that, the game would be over. Exactly right. There was a hold by a Buffalo offensive lineman in the end zone that should have ended the game. Because when you get a hold in the end zone, it's a safety. That would have ended the game right there. 32-30. So, yeah, I admit that. I just have a problem with I want somebody from the NFL to explain to me what a catch is, because a catch is no longer like we used to do in the backyard. It used to be in the NFL. You catch the ball, you got 2 feet in bounds. You make a football move, couple steps, that's it. Simple as that. You catch the ball on the ground, you're touched, you're down. Why overcomplicate something as simple as catching a freaking football? It's stupid. It is stupid how complicated they made something as simple as a catch. And I'll tell you, I'll go back to one of these. And you guys, I'm a Steelers fan. The first Baltimore game, when Likely caught the ball in the end zone, took 2 steps, didn't complete the third before the ball was popped out, that was a touchdown. That would have won the game for Baltimore. I know it. That's what I'm saying. What is a catch anymore in the NFL? Somebody from the NFL, please explain it to me where it makes sense, because it won't make sense with what I'm hearing everywhere else. Bo Nix, the man, he played a hell of a ball game. 279 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Hats off to the offensive line for Denver. They never, he never got sacked. And he put the ball on the money. Deep pass late in the fourth quarter to tie it up to Mims for 26 yards. He put the ball on the money. Nix, one of those other ones like Carson Beck that made a career out of college football and then decided to transfer to the NFL. But one of the worst things that could have happened to Denver. The second to last play of the game, they call it a designed run for Bo Nix. He's tackled. He doesn't come off the field until they line up to kick the field goal to win the game. Word started coming out later after they win the game 33-30 in overtime. Bo Nix out for they called it the rest of the season. I mean, come on. Just say out for the playoffs. 2 games. He's out for the playoffs. Broken bone in his ankle. So now, Jarrett Stidham will be the starting quarterback next week in the AFC Championship game. That's unreal. He gets his first start this year in the AFC Championship game. All right, so let's move on to see who will be the team to play the Broncos. Houston versus New England. Sloppy game. Sloppy Joe. Yeah, this would be a sloppy Joe game right here. Turnovers galore. I mean, it was just. I mean, snow. I know it was snowing. I know snow was coming down, but still, there's been plenty of games I've watched in snow, and none have been as sloppy as this. It was almost like there for a minute the quarterbacks didn't want their team to win. But Drake May plays a little bit better at quarterback than C.J. Stroud does. He only turns the ball over a few times. He fumbles. He only throws 1 interception. And he throws 3 TDs. Still not the greatest game for him. C.J. Stroud. I said it when I picked New England to win this game, that C.J. Stroud was going to hurt them. Because the last game against Pittsburgh, they won that game despite C.J. Stroud. Watching him in that pocket, he did not look like a starting quarterback in the NFL. His footwork was not good. He was dancing around. And if you got pressure on him, he didn't know what to do. I thought this guy liked to take off and run a lot. He didn't do that. Lofting the ball over your receiver's head, and that safety comes over, Carlton Davis, I believe that was his name. He intercepts it. I mean, he was throwing. He didn't have any problem. Then you're trying to call a tight end screen. Your tight end goes in motion. One of your tackles gets blown up so hard that he trips the tight end. Tight end goes down. That's automatic. A good quarterback will automatically either chuck the ball in the ground or he's going to have to eat it, take a sack. Not C.J. Stroud. Throws the ball up, straight up in the air in the middle of the field. Intercepted. and take them back for a touchdown. At that time, Houston was winning the game 10-7. They never led again. New England and no, Drake May fumbles 3 times, I want to say. But CJ Stroud had 5 turnovers, guys. 4 of them, 4 interceptions in the first half. And to watch him, you could just see the confidence gone. He didn't know what was going on. Honest to God, I don't know if I'd let him finish the game. You can say what you want to. He was a detriment to that team. Defense came, and they were as advertised. Will Anderson, 3 sacks, a strip sack. They were as advertised. New England had some splash plays. And the interception, the pick 6. And that was, I mean, they didn't really set the world on fire. And they got the win 28-16. What? And I know you guys heard me talk about how much I love Vrabel. After the game, in the tunnel, Vrabel waited for everybody on his team to come through that tunnel and slap hands with him or something. Will Campbell, offensive lineman, rookie offensive lineman, who got torched by Will Anderson all day. He pops him on the cheek. You see Will Anderson kind of give him a side eye. But Drake May was the last one to come in, and Vrabel waited till he came in there. I love that guy. He doesn't have to win another Super Bowl, though. He's got plenty. But it looks like he may be headed there if you listen to everybody talk. Now, the defense for Denver is strong, but can it overcome the offense, the quarterback, the inexperienced quarterback? That's what I'm worried about there. We'll get into that a little bit. So, 28-16, Patriots win. Move on to the AFC Championship. So next week it'll be at Denver, Patriots versus the Broncos. Not Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. Drake May versus Jarrett Stidham. What a matchup. All right, Seahawks 49ers. I had such high hopes for this game. As soon as I turn it over, kickoff, Panero takes it back 60 yards for a touchdown on the opening kickoff. What was that kicker trying to do? Shaheed was the Panero was the kicker. Tripping. He tried to trip him, and he couldn't even do that. And that was just a sign of things to come, guys. I mean, it was never in doubt. I mean, it was domination. Kenneth Walker, 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold didn't have to throw the ball much. 12 for 17.
We're going to switch attention now.
What was that? 12 for 17. So only had to throw the ball 17 times, 124 yards. And it's just a hard killing. 41-6. So the last 2 games against the 49ers, the Seahawks held them to 3 field goals, no touchdowns. Some bad news for Seattle. Running back Charbonnet is out for the rest of the playoffs. He had to have surgery, a knee injury, I believe. But, man, the way that defense, Legion of Boom, I forgot what they call this defense, but they're strong and they fly all over the field. It's gonna be hard to pick against Seattle. The only the only thing that worries me about Seattle is Sam Darnold, because I just feel like he proved he was there and he was making plays, but he just scares me that he's going to go back to the Ghostbuster days, seeing ghosts on the field, like he was when he was with the Jets. Gosh, how long ago was that? But so they move on. They'll host the NFC Championship game. And who will they play? The game of the playoffs so far, guys. Rams and Bears. I mean, Caleb Williams versus Matthew Stafford. This game, Rams come out, go down the field, get an early touchdown. Kyron Williams, what can you say about that guy? That guy, in a game where everybody talked about Stafford, Williams, Devontae Adams, Puka, MVP should be Kyron Williams of that game. Appreciate the like, Dave. 2 touchdowns, 87 yards. What's up, Dave? Williams gets the gets a touchdown that puts them ahead until one of the most bizarre plays in NFL playoff history. Caleb Williams, 4th and 4 from his, I guess he was at like his 20. He drops back. Well, he's at the 14, excuse me. He ended up dropping back, scrambling about 20 yards back to about the 35, 40-yard line, and just heaves the ball up. When he heaved the ball, the way he threw the ball, I was thinking this is going to be picked. Somehow, 2 Rams defensive back let Cole Kmet get behind them in the back of the end zone, and he scored a touchdown to send it into overtime. Hold on, we got a question here. McDermott to Pittsburgh, would you take? I would sure take him, Dave. Earlier, I made the comment, I hope they're on the phone with him. I hope they gave him a call. I would take him in a heartbeat. I think the GM for the Bills should have been fired before he did. So they go in overtime because the magic, the Bears magic that they've had over the past month or so, coming back from, of course, you saw how they did against Green Bay, and a couple other games they did. The magic ran out because, they get a stop. The first possession, Rams get the ball, Bears get a stop. And you just felt like, okay, this is going to be it. The Bears are going to win this game. They're going to come back and win this game again. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if it was miscommunication. It looked like on this play that DJ Moore stopped running. And Williams threw the ball, intercepted. One of his 3 interceptions for the day. And Rams take over. Big catch by Devontae Adams on the side, near the sideline. I don't know how he caught that ball like that. And then Puka gets a catch and gets him in the field goal range. Rams with Mevis. I don't know if you guys have seen this kicker for the Rams. He wears number 42, I think. No, he wears a higher number. It's like 82. I can't remember. He's got an off the wall number for a kicker, and he don't look like a kicker. He looks big. Yeah, not Sebastian Janikowski big, but big. 42-yard field goal to win it in overtime. Caleb Williams finished 257 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions. Let me tell you guys, they got something going there in Chicago. Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, you've got some weapons there. They need a couple more pieces. They need somebody on defense. They need maybe a wide receiver too, a good wide receiver too. They watch out for Chicago in years to come. Dave says Seattle and the Patriots for Super Bowl 60. Seahawks win the Lombardi. I'm not giving away my picks this early. Not in the Super Bowl picks, but we'll get there. The thing with Chicago, you don't want to have to keep coming from behind. You want to be in control of that game. You don't want to be the cardiac kids. I mean, it's okay to be it if you're winning all the time, but you don't want to take that chance to have to come back. I mean, playoffs is you can't afford to do that. But yeah, big things coming to Chicago. So the Rams, I mean, like I said, Kyron Williams, MVP of that game. Rams defense is one of the best in football. They're going to need to be. Their offense is good. I want to see Sean McVay how this matchup is going to go with Seattle. Offense versus defense. It's going to be interesting. I mean, so now we've got the NFC Championship set up. Rams versus Seahawks in Seattle. So we'll do the picks now. So let's go ahead with the Rams and Seahawks. I'd like to see Stafford get another chance at the Super Bowl again. And I like Puka. I like that Rams team. I like McVay. But man, Seahawks are so strong. And that defense is so good. My heart wants to go with the Rams, but my head is telling me Seahawks win. I'm right there with Dave on that one. If the Rams can get some long drives, but they got to have points, and it's that Seahawks defense is so disciplined and so aggressive. It's unbelievable. It's the way they dominated the 49ers the last two games I watched in 2 games. It's unreal. So Seattle winning. I've got Seattle winning that. On the AFC, New England travels to Denver. Jarrett Stidham at quarterback for Denver. Big question mark. Denver's best chance is whatever the defense can do for them. The defense has to make Drake May do what he's been doing this year. Turn the ball over, fumble. Something. Put the pressure on him, strip the ball. You have to give your offense a short field. That's going to be the key for Denver. Not putting, just let Stidham doesn't have to light it up. He just needs to manage the game. Don't turn the ball over. Get some first downs. They need to let him ease into it in the first part of the game. Get him some first downs. Get him in rhythm. Don't make him win the game. Make him not lose the game. Make him do enough to not lose the game. Patriots defense is good too. They're not dominating defense, but they're good. Their secondary is all over the place. I got to go with the Patriots just because Jarrett Stidham. If Bo Nix is back there, it's a different story. But I'm going with the Patriots. We got Patriots versus Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I'm like that with Dave, Super Bowl 60. And I'll get to my pick for that when we do the Super Bowl preview. So, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. You know, it's hard to believe season's almost over, but we do have something special coming for the off season. I'm working on right now. Hopefully, I can put it together like I want it. We'll go back in time. We'll do a little back to 1980 and go week by week from the 1980 season, because going back to that season is probably the first season. That Super Bowl for 1980, which it would be the one before that season started, the Rams and the Steelers, is probably one of my earliest memories of football. And when 1980 hit, that's when I was big time into it. We'll go week by week through that, starting with the draft, start with the off-season moves to go to the draft, and then go week by week to the season. And plus, we'll have the final score episodes, just talking about what's going on in the sports world too. Anyway, guys, if you're local around here, hunker down, get your bread, your milk, your toilet paper. Get ready for some snow, or when hopefully it's just snow. We don't want ice. No to the ice. Hopefully you guys stay safe. Enjoy the championship games this weekend. If you don't have to go anywhere this weekend and you get a ton of snow, don't go anywhere. Stay home and watch football. Or stay home and watch the final score, or On the Fly. New episode of On the Fly hit this week with the Bourbon Sons. Check it out. All right, guys. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to William. Thank you to Dalton, Heels, and Rob. Appreciate you guys. That's it, guys. You have a great week. We'll see you next time on the final score.